Today, we successfully launched the world's most expensive Earth monitoring satellite, jointly made with NASA. We are now in the race to launch our own Bharat Antrix station, our space station. Gone are the days. Problem with Donald Trump, he doesn't know the India he's dealing with. He doesn't know the India he's dealing with. We are far more developed in many areas of technology than America. Our economy is far more stable and resilient than the crippling and crippled, debt-ridden US economy. Gone are the days when the world threatened us with sanctions on nuclear weapons. Today, India is the only successful global superpower that defeated a nuclear adversary with impunity, with a zero-tolerance policy to nuclear blackmail.
嗨，欢迎来到果果的新闻频道。本期精彩内容：印度正面硬刚美国，特朗普威胁天价关税。莫迪直接拒接电话，全世界都在看这场大战，谁赢谁输，你敢信？特朗普狂喷印度，莫迪政府直接强硬回击，电话不接，代表团撤回，贸易战照打。美国还想用老套路制裁印度？莫迪一句话怼到白宫沉默，印度官媒疯狂开火，我们不再是1757年的殖民地，我们是世界第4大强国。特朗普被全网嘲讽，根本不懂印度多强大，而中国竟然成为这场大战的关键变量。想知道印度为什么敢和美国叫板，谁才是最终赢家？快点进来看，真相绝对让你震惊。请看前方发来的报道。
This is 2025 and not 1757. And back then, we might not have had the unity and resolve to push back against the British East Indian Company, but today, India is certainly not a pushover. After all, we are the world's 4th largest economy. We are the largest democracy on the planet. We are the 3rd largest military power in the world. But most importantly, we are nobody's adversary. We are a nation, a proud nation and an ancient civilization, Bharat, which is endeavoring to realize the dream of becoming a developed country, but through self-development, not on the basis of the evil of subjugation of the underdeveloped. India does not believe in expansionism. India doesn't believe in interference in other nations' democracies. India does not believe in virtue signaling over internal issues of other nations. India does not indulge in predatory trade practices. India does not fund any axis of evil or terrorist organizations. We are but a nation of dignity, respect, morals, values, and deep history. And yet tonight, a man goes around everywhere hankering, pleading, cajoling, arguing for a Nobel Peace Prize with badges of deceitful claims, lies of being a peacemaker, like he did again last night in America about the India-Pakistan war.
What's going on with you in India? And the hatred was tremendous. Now, this has been going on for a hell of a long time. I said, call me back tomorrow, but we're not going to do any deals with you, or you're going to put tariffs on you that was so high, I don't give a damn, your head's going to spin.
He doesn't know how to talk. He doesn't know how to conduct diplomacy. He doesn't know how to conduct himself. And he lies. This man thinks that strong-arming a nation like India, that has been aligned only to global good and humanity, is to be blamed for the carnage that ensues in Ukraine, while ignoring the root cause that Ukraine wanted to join a military grouping called NATO, pioneered, pushed, and encouraged by his own country, the United States of America, which is in a mess of its own making. Well, hypocrisy, thy name is the United States of America. This is not India's war. And for Trump, he would like you to believe it is Biden's war. But the reality is Donald Trump, for the rest of the world and for all reasonable people around the world, it is the USA's war. It is America's war. It is so ironic that India has to explain the fount of capitalism that is buying Russian oil and refining it for stabilization of global energy prices, and its own national interest is not to fund a war, but to fuel its own priorities. That is what the government of India is doing. Isn't that exactly what the United States has also always done? Isn't that what America is doing? Can America explain why it buys so much and has increased trade with Russia? With great hypocrisy. A so-called trade expert at the White House, Peter Navarro, says that India needs to act like a strategic partner to be treated as one. The same person gives $400 million to an irresponsible nuclear power to prime its American F-16s days ahead of them being used to defend terrorist dens and undermine Indian sovereignty through the continued illegal occupation of parts of Jammu and Kashmir. I repeat your words to you again, Mr. Navarro, this time with the right connotation. Let me say this to you, Mr. Navarro, that if the USA wants to be treated like a strategic partner by India, then the USA needs to start behaving like one. You are funding the place which was the sanctuary for Osama bin Laden. You are funding a terrorist state by doing crypto deals to benefit Trump's family, which may or may not benefit the President of the United States' own familial fortunes. You are hosting genocidal dictators for luncheons. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight the world watches how India is the only nation with a spine that can stand up to American strong-arm tactics. Tonight, even our adversaries are in admiration of our nationalist position, something you might not be able to locate in the glitter and pomp of the Oval Office amidst all the coercive gifts that you have proudly put on display. I would say, go out and touch the grass, Donald Trump. Touch the grass, Donald Trump. Gone are the days. You've taken on, you've bitten off more than you can chew, Donald Trump. Gone are the days when India was dismissed as a reluctant power. Today we shape the Indo-Pacific. We set the terms for the global South. Gone are the days when India was mocked for being out of the elite space club. Today we successfully launched the world's most expensive Earth monitoring satellite jointly made with NASA. We are now in the race to launch our own Bharat Antrix station, our space station. Gone are the days. Problem with Donald Trump, he doesn't know the India he's dealing with. He doesn't know the India he's dealing with. We are far more developed in many areas of technology than America. Our economy is far more stable and resilient than the crippling and crippled, debt-ridden US economy. Gone are the days when the world threatened us with sanctions on nuclear weapons. Today, India is the only successful global superpower that defeated a nuclear adversary with impunity, with a zero-tolerance policy to nuclear blackmail. We know how to deal with China. We battle them every day, and we push them back. You have Canada and Mexico as neighbors. Imagine, ladies and gentlemen, if America had China as its neighbor. You see the way already, the obsequious way in which Trump is behaving with Putin. Imagine how he would deal with Xi Jinping then. Maybe he would garland him once every day. Gone are the days, ladies and gentlemen, when India was only a market for foreign tech. Today we are the creators of AI, quantum computing, and the world's fastest digital payments revolution. In fact, techies in America are leaving America because the situation is hopeless and coming back to India to build companies and work here. Because the American economy, American society is in a horrible shape. Today we are building for billions while others still debate pilot projects. Gone are the days when India imported every weapon. Today we design, test and export fighter jets, aircraft carriers, missile defense system. Our tricolor flies on machines made in India. Gone are the days when we were called a fragile five nation. Today we are on the track. As Narendra Modi said in the US Congress, we are on track to become the third largest economy of the world by 2028. Perhaps even before your term ends, Donald Trump. You made such a mistake. You know nothing about economics, geopolitics, or India's stature and position and future. Gone are the days when India was sidelined at climate summits. Today, people look down at climate summits on the United States of America, and the world looks to India's solar alliance, green hydrogen vision, energy transition roadmaps as the blueprint for the world's future. So gone are the days when India's voice was ignored at the UN. Today, it is India leading the call for UN reformation. Gone are the days when India was breaking into Western headlines as a depiction of a land of poverty, exotica, a land of famine and floods, which was also a wrong stereotype. Or sitcoms as late as the late 90s and early 2000s, reducing India to an elephant and dysfunctional toilets or a curry-colored land where the cultish workforce worships the clueless. Just look around what the world is saying today. Just look around what the world is saying today. Look at these headlines. Today, if you're watching this in India, let me tell you, feel proud. The whole world is cheering you. People who were cynical of India are today cheering us. Financial Times, London. India holds firm as Donald Trump's punitive tariffs loom. Another headline, Narendra Modi ready to pay a heavy price as India seeks to resist Trump's tariffs. Nobody is fighting Trump like India is. Nobody is. And you know what? When India wins vis-a-vis Trump, not whether, when Narendra Modi wins and defeats Trump's bullying, when India defeats the USA, imagine what the headlines will be. Trump's 25% India tariffs could backfire and strengthen China-India ties. The whole world is looking. The German press even reported Trump calls, but Modi doesn't answer. I don't know whether Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of India, ignored 4 desperate calls from Donald Trump for a deal, or whether the reason for that, or whether that was the reason why Trump withdrew his trade delegation because of an ego issue, which was supposed to visit 2 days ago. What I know is this, that today the world stands in awe of India's decisive stand. That is how we deal with a bully.
精彩视频看完了，印度甲亢哥发来的报道以激昂的民族主义语调，强烈回应了美国总统特朗普对印度的指责与施压，并借此全面展示了印度在当前国际格局中的自信与实力。开篇既强调印度不再是历史上的被动角色，而是世界第4大经济体、最大民主国家和第3大军事强国，是一个拥有悠久文明和尊严的自豪国家。印度甲亢哥坚决否认印度是任何人的敌手，明确表达印度通过自我发展实现强国梦想的立场，反对一切形式的扩张主义、干涉他国内政和掠夺性贸易行为。他猛烈地批评特朗普为诺贝尔和平奖进行欺骗性宣传，尤其针对其在美印关系中的不当言行，指责其不懂外交、撒谎成性，并试图以强权手段压迫印度，评论进一步将俄乌冲突的责任归咎于美国及北约的东扩政策，强调印度购买俄罗斯石油是出于稳定全球能源价格和国家利益的理性行为，而非资助战争，并直指美国的双重标准和伪善。印度甲亢哥通过一系列一去不复返的排比句式，有力驳斥了西方对印度的传统偏见。印度不再是脆弱5国之一，而是科技领先，如 AI、量子计算、航天、经济稳健、自主国防制造、气候领导力和联合国改革倡导者。印度甲亢哥又开始口嗨，很自信啊！他特别强调，印度甚至在部分技术领域超越了美国，并吸引美国科技人才回流。最后评论一系列国际媒体标题为证，指出全球正为印度敢于对抗特朗普而喝彩，称印度是唯一有脊梁抵抗美国霸权的国家。他还呼吁印度人民自豪坚信，莫迪领导下的印度将在与美国的较量中取胜。重塑全球话语权，印度甲亢哥充满民族自豪感和外交自信评论，反映了印度日益强烈的战略自主意识和在全球南方中的领导意愿，同时也凸显出印度与美国在贸易、地缘政治和价值观念上的深刻分歧。最后我想说，应该是梁静茹给甲亢哥的勇气。谢谢大家观看，喜欢请点赞、评论加订阅，你的支持是我最大的动力。天天见，比心，拜拜。